It's a constant surrender, man. Every day is just a constant surrender. And I am by no means like close to having that figured out, the surrender. But I do thank God that like it goes back to just his grace, grace covering that. Radio tour in January of 2020.
COVID.
And got man, we got I made my Grand Ole Opry debut, and 2 weeks after that, it was just like the whole world pretty much shut down. Jesus is literally like, that is the most fulfilled that we can be on this earth.
Dude,
I want to talk about your guitar playing for a little bit, if that's cool.
Man, you should get a guitar player in here then.
Dude, shut up.
He would write out Bible verses sometimes on deer stands, just out of just like, which is so cool. I want to do that.
Watch me bring
so
my
bad.
Sharpie to Alabama this weekend, buddy.
Dude, that is cool.
Freaking to you, I will be.
Yes,
that is cool.
1000%.
Got a little girl that used to swing right there.
If you help me find a title to this record, I'll glorify you every time. I will say your name every time that I talk about how I got the title track to this record.
Did you scope yourself?
You may tell the story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want everybody in the world to have the joy that comes from God.
He wants to give you things. He just wants you to ask, because if you ask something, then you can acknowledge when it was given. So if you can acknowledge when it was given, you can give him glory.
My grandpa, dude, was the same way. Like, he might as well have been Jesus Christ to me when I was like 10,
Yeah, Jesus is enough. Jesus is enough. I promise you.
Y'all gonna reach a lot of people. I'm proud of y'all, man.
Appreciate
This
that.
is so cool.
Thanks.
Y'all keep this
That
going.
kind of dirt cheap.
Y'all ain't afraid to dig deep, which I freaking love. So.
God, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for giving us the time and the availability to get in a room together and make this podcast happen. I just want to pray over all of the camera equipment and audio, that you'll be with it and that there won't be any hiccups with it. Lord, I pray that you'll just be with this conversation that we have with Payton, that you'll just dwell in this room. Like I always ask, that if there's something that we need to say, or if there's something that somebody needs to hear, if there's something that they need to hear, Lord, that we'll do that on this podcast. And at a bare minimum, I hope that we have fun and that you'll be in this room with us. And it's in your holy name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thanks.
Of course.
I think the last time I saw you was actually at a church, like last year.
At Ethos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just
That's
went
right.
one random Sunday and you were sitting
right.
next to us.
Is that where you go?
We go to Ethos.
I've been there a few times. My
Yeah.
girlfriend
Cool.
was going there for a while when
Yeah.
she was still living downtown.
It's cool, man. I mean, it's a little bit, it's far right now. And, we're also like trying to find like kind of where we want to like
Same.
bring up
Yeah.
Sunny. So
Yeah. It's a beautiful name, dude. I love that.
thanks, dude.
So that is your daughter's name.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, let's say
Yeah.
who's here first. We got
Yeah.
Payton
Oh, my
Smith.
bad. My bad.
We got
Sorry.
Payton Smith in the room, everybody.
I've been yapping.
Yeah. We've been talking a little bit before that, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. What were we talking about?
Honestly, let's just go ahead and like do your introduction. Like, who are you? Where are you from?
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah,
We know
man.
you're a really good singer, songwriter, guitar player, all that stuff.
Oh,
But
shoot, man.
tell the people who you are and
Yeah.
what you're about.
Yeah, Payton Smith. I grew up in a little town about an hour south of New Orleans. Been in Nashville for, it's kind of a weird story, and it's a long story, but been here almost 10 years living here, 12 years writing here. So it's crazy.
How does that work?
Yeah. So it is kind of a long story, but I came here when I was 14 years old and came here on just a family vacation. We were supposed to go on a dove hunt in West Texas, and me and my brothers, I was 14, they were younger than me, and my dad was just like, hey, it's going to be a little rowdy. It might not be the place to bring y'all, in West Texas. So he was like, let's just take the family to Nashville. And, you've always wanted to go there. Let's go do it. We'll go stay a couple days, stay through Labor Day weekend. So we get here and I'm just like, well, I'm going to go down in the lobby and start playing, like just because I'm like, why not? You're so, it was kind of just pure, being naive. Like,
Did you shred at that point?
I don't think I could at all.
I guarantee.
That means he could.
guarantee you were a better guitar player at 14 than I am at 30.
Shoot, man, I'm still trying to figure out how to make 6 strings work. But yeah, man, I started playing down in this lobby of this hotel, and played for a couple hours, you know. And there was a concierge there. My parents came down, and my parents were like, we hope this is like okay. He's not bothering anybody, you know. And so the concierge was like, hey, well, is he writing some of these songs? They're really, really good songs, you know, and it sounds great. It's really something here. And my parents were just like, we just know he loves it. That's it. Like, we just want to support whatever he wants to do, and you know he loves it. And so the concierge ended up introducing me to a couple session players in town that next day. And then I want to say it was like our third day in Nashville, and those session players, I'd played a few original songs for them. And then the next day we went and met with a guy named Buddy Cannon, who does all the Chesney records, and then met with somebody at Universal that same day.
So you could rip.
I don't know about that. I don't know what I was doing in those rooms, man. To be quite honest, it's really a God story. I mean, it's kind of just it's just really just crazy how all that happened all kind of in one day, and so my dad was like, well, I don't know how any of this works, and I remember him like saying that he woke up that later on that night because it was obvious that like, you know, there was a path that, you know, was being open for me to be able to come here and write songs. And my dad just going like, Lord, like, this is scary. I don't know what any of this means, but like, I want to just feel peace about it. And the Lord just basically like right in that moment just was like, hey, I got him. As long as you pursue righteousness, I got you. So Dad was like, all right, we'll start going to Nashville and you start writing. And so we would come every month for a week, you know, and that's kind of where it started.
What a good father.
Yeah,
Both of them.
Yeah, true. I know you could rip without you telling me because I also had a meeting at Universal when I was about 19 and they told me to hang it up. So that's not what they told me, but they did say you got a long way to go.
My first meeting at Warner was terrible.
Was it?
They were like, you wrote these songs by yourself, didn't you? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And they're like, you should start writing with other people.
I don't know, man. I really don't know. Like, I mean, I didn't sign with anybody, you know, anybody that you know, on that trip or even get really any offers, but there was just enough, like, I think the main thing was like having Buddy Cannon kind of go,
that's
hey,
massive.
That's huge.
like, I hear something here. Let me get you to town. Let me start booking you rights. He was kind of like my first like publisher.
Yeah.
You know, that
sure.
didn't own any of my publishing, and you know, I wasn't getting paid a draw. So, but he was kind of like that for the first few years.
Not a bad person to have in your corner.
Not at all,
Yeah,
man.
to say
Not
the
at all.
least.
Yeah, taught me a lot. Taught me a whole lot.
So when did you make the move here officially?
We made the move here in 2016, and
When we all came up here.
Yeah, that's when I got here too.
Yeah, made the move in 2016.
How old are you right now?
25.
Young.
25. So we made it at the top of 2016. We moved out to like, started renting this cabin out in like Bon Aqua, south of town. And it just kind of opened, you know, all the doors were kind of felt like they were being open to walk through them. And so, yeah, it's crazy. It's almost been getting close to 10
Getting
years.
close to
That's
10,
what
brother.
we've been talking about. It's pretty nuts.
I'm 9 in November. So.
9 in November?
January will be
Man.
10.
Really?
2016.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild.
Went by
man.
It is
quick, but it
wild.
also feels like it's been a lifetime.
I could say that. Yeah, to me, it feels like a lifetime
Mm-hmm.
It feels like
Same.
It feels like a lifetime, but I also don't even know.
where it went.
Yeah, exactly. And mine was a little different. Being 4 of those years were in college, and then I technically missed a year and a half, but like or a year. But yeah, it's wild. Like
Yeah.
there's gonna come a point where I've been here longer than I was at home. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. It is wild to think about. It's weird how time has kind of become a like, I don't know. I feel like as you get older, it's weird like how it speeds up, and like I still remember like all the little details of like, you know, coming here and still that same like fire,
Yep.
but like
But it's different.
but it's different.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Like
I do know.
it's an interesting thing. Time becomes an interesting thing, especially after having a baby. Like time is feels like it feels like you've lived a whole lifetime ago, and it also feels like no time has passed, you know.
But in that time, you've been on the road with Lee Bryce, Christian, Mitchell Tenpenny, Connor Smith, and more.
Yeah.
Is what it says here on my phone. And I also think I saw a number that said over 50 million streams.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's
So,
incredible.
From 14 to that, you know, what was the breaking point where it kind of shifted from, okay, you were coming up here, you're writing, you moved up here, and then what was the thing, if there was one, where it kind of shifted to like, now things are moving faster and I'm actually on the road with people that are way bigger than me. And, you know, was there a moment that kind of turned?
Yeah, man. I feel like I signed, I had been writing, you know, a lot, been kind of, you know, writing and trying to find what I wanted to do, you know, at 18 and trying to figure something, you know, feeling like I'm getting close to something. And then I signed with Big Machine, I guess that summer. So we went in and cut a bunch of music in 2019, got it all ready, good to go. And we were like, all right, well, this feels like this is about to be like the kind of moment, you know, here that people talk about, hopefully. And we put out, you know, an EP, and one of the songs took off, started streaming really good. And
Which one was that?
a song called Like I Knew You Would.
Yeah.
And yeah. It started performing really good, and we went out on a radio tour in January of 2020.
COVID.
And got man, we got our first tour that summer, and so it really was like, man, all right, I think this is it. And we got into March. I made my Grand Ole Opry debut, and 2 weeks after that, it was just like it shut, like the whole world pretty much shut down after that. So we got off radio tour, and everybody was like, "Oh, well, we'll be back in a couple weeks, maybe a month." Yeah. And and that's how it went. So so
Dude,
it's kind of
crazy that, like, not to interrupt you, sorry.
No, you're good.
It's crazy that things like that happen. There's no, like, insurance or, like,
Yeah.
trying to think of the word. Like, there's no way to protect your career from something like that, because the industry isn't like, oh, we're going to give you a little extra now because you kind of got robbed by COVID, or you know, life happens and the world goes crazy.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
it's like, now what?
I mean, that's what I you know, there's a lot of things I think that there's a lot of little God nods that happened in 2020 where I feel like
what?
Well, for one thing, I started dating my now wife the week that the world shut down. Wow. And I think that was kind of something that I don't know. I mean, who's to say what would have happened, you know, if all those things would have, but it certainly got us very close. I mean, we had known each other for a long time before that, but never thought about, like, I never thought we were going to actually date. And so there was that. I think my heart certainly wasn't in the right place at all to know how to be on the road. I certainly didn't feel like I was grounded. Like, so there were some of those things, and I don't know that I quite knew what I wanted to say at that point either. Like, I thought that I did, because I was kind of being told, well, hey, you're the next this. So I was just like, okay, I love that artist, but I also love, like, you're the next, well, you know, I love Keith Urban, but, like, the next Keith or the next this, you know, whatever it was. And I was like, yeah, I love that artist, but, like, I also love Eric Church and Aldine, and, like, I love a lot of those guys. And so I kind of felt a lot of pressure to just be like, oh, well, I guess I'm just that guy, so I'll just be that guy, you know. And so I didn't quite know how to be just authentically myself at 20. And I don't know, like, if all of that would have gone through, like, would I be, like, happy with just being authentically myself and putting out music that I truly, like, believed in? I don't know. I mean, we'll never know, but I think where I was, I can honestly say that wasn't what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know? So there was just a lot of lessons learned, you know, during that time.
What do you think happened for you to How do you think you found out who you were and what you wanted to say?
Yeah, man. I still feel like it's
I think
it's always
it evolves, right?
it's always changing, you know. It evolves, but I feel like, I mean, I feel like going through COVID. I feel like getting married. I feel like over the last couple of years, you know, there's been it's just taken some time to like find all those influences, all those things that I love, and try to put them all into one thing, which doesn't happen overnight. It just takes some time experimenting here and trying this and trying this. Well, that didn't really work. Well, that's a little too far, and just finding some middle ground, that just takes time.
Yeah.
And I think just living life. I think getting older, which, you know, I'm only 25, but I think growing up and having life experiences like getting married and buying a house, like there's just little things that I noticed that were like growing me up a little bit quicker. And that was influencing the songs I was writing and influencing the sound. So I think it was just life, you know, life happening that kind of helped the sound evolve and kind of get me to where I felt comfortable, like being myself.
It definitely shows on the album you put out.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Like I said, I was listening to it a little bit earlier today, and I was like, these songs are actually really good.
Thank you, man.
I'm not just saying that. Like, we have people come on here all the time that, like, you know, have music out, and obviously you're fans of them and like you compliment them. But I was listening to them in my kitchen this morning while I was cooking some eggs, and I was like, these are good.
Dude,
Thank you, bro.
These are
Thank you,
stamped.
I remember when when I heard Mountain on Fire, bro, that's a banger.
Oh, dude, thank you, man.
Yeah, that's one of those ones I was like,
Appreciate it.
that's just a jam.
Heck yeah.
I could put that one on repeat
Appreciate it.
and just drive on it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. Or cook some eggs to it. You know?
Yeah.
That's you know, that's the goal right there, baby.
I think my favorite hook, is it Enough for Me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That one was really good to me.
Thank you, man. That's I mean, I can't pick a favorite off the album, but that one means a lot.
And it
Yeah, that one's really cool.
Came out in September, right?
Came out in September.
And what's the title of the album?
The Bridge. Yeah, The Bridge. It's I mean, we wrote a song a little over a year ago called The Bridge, and that was right after I found out that we were gonna be parents for the first time, and I kind of knew, like, man, I want to write something that feels like that, you know, that feels like I'm 25, I'm not quite grown up, I'm still young, but I'm like getting there. And I think I wrote that song with Thomas Archer, Andy Sheridan, and Blake Bollinger. And I want to say Thomas, we were on a writer's retreat, and Thomas kind of we were looking through stuff, and I was kind of telling him how I was feeling, and he was like, man, it's almost like The Bridge. And I was like, let's just write something called The Bridge. That's just a sick title. I was like, I love that. And it literally just poured out so quick because it's where I'm at. And the whole, while we were writing the song, I knew, I was like, this is the title of the album. This is what the theme should be. This is like, because the whole premise of the song is, you know, still being young, growing up at the same time, a little bit further from, you know, being young, but still kind of there, and a little older, but not quite there, not quite ready to grow up completely. You know, and just all those things kind of being right in the middle of that. And there's a line at the end of the chorus where it says, there's some miles back there, some miles up ahead, and I'm somewhere on the bridge. And I kind of realized, I was like, man, I don't know that ever stops. I guess we're always just on the bridge.
Yeah.
Like, and so the album, I kind of had I wanted there to kind of be a little bit of a concept to the first few songs sounding really young and live and you know, sounded like a guy figuring it out. And then with each song, it would kind of grow into, you know, maturing a little bit more and a little bit more. And so we stuck The Bridge right in the middle as like kind of to kind of just keep the
theme,
the road, you know, per se going. Yep. And
so cool.
Yeah. So I'm proud of it, man. I'm glad that you guys loved it. It's really awesome. Really cool.
It's great. I want to talk about your guitar playing for a little bit, if that's cool.
Man, you should get a guitar player in here then.
Dude, shut up. You're probably. I mean, I'm not just saying this either. I don't know anybody that. Actually, you know Ben Gallagher,
Yeah.
or is it Gallagher?
Yeah. Yeah.
I always throw an extra G
too,
on there, but
yeah. Yeah.
he rips too. But I feel like y'all are very similar. Like y'all can be Brad Paisley and Keith Urban at the same time.
There's only like 3 dudes I can think of in this town that are artists that can do that. He's one, you're one, Travis Denning. Travis can rip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's in like, but I don't think of any, I'm sure I'm not thinking of someone, but it doesn't seem like there's that many dudes that are like, can really do both.
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
sure.
Zach Top.
Okay, Zach Top, sure.
Bluegrass.
Zach, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I feel like, man, Steven Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right, never
he
mind.
plays
Take everything I said
but like,
right out the window.
But like they kind of like everybody kind of has like their own like style. Everybody we kind of like mention, right? Like Steven Wilson, like he can't quite do that Van Halen or whatever like super shreddy thing. But it's such a specific sound that it's him when he's playing it. Zach Top does that like Brent Mason bluegrass thing so well. Travis
He's
can
Skinner,
dude,
right?
He's
Like,
Skinner,
yeah.
Allman Brothers. Everybody kind of has like. I feel like you hear Travis and you're like, man, yeah, you can tell it's Travis kind of playing, and it's funny how kind of everybody kind of finds their own identity or their influence from something and puts it into what they do.
Yeah, who was that for you?
For me, man, I mean, I remember watching Keith Urban the first time when I was 4 or 5 years old. It was a DVD called Living Right Now. And it was like, it was the era of Days Go By, Somebody Like You, Who Wouldn't Want to Be Me, Where the Blacktop Ends.
Yeah.
Bangers.
Incredible.
Dude, I mean, just, and I remember watching that DVD. He's just even at that young age and just going like, that dude is having a blast playing guitar. And that looks so much fun. Like, I want to go learn how to play guitar. It wasn't so much of like, I want to go like do what that guy does, but it was more of just like, that looks fun.
Yeah.
I want to go do whatever that is. And so, I mean, Keith was a huge influence, still is. Joe Walsh was like another guy. I grew up on a lot of classic rock. My dad loved classic rock. So,
You taught yourself, right?
I did. I mean, I went on, it was the age of ultimate guitar and watching YouTube. So, my dad taught me like 3 chords, and it was funny because it's like as soon as he would teach me like the major chords on a chart or whatever, and it'd be like D, A, G, and there'd be a B minor somewhere, and I'd ask my dad, I'd be like, "Well, what about this?" And he'd be like, "Yeah, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know about all that stuff." But yeah, man, it was
That is funny.
I think we all got.
That's where that learning curve kind of sharpened a little bit for all
that's
of
right.
us.
Yeah, dude, I think everyone gets there and goes, I'm going to avoid that
Yeah.
for as long as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get to bar chords and it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? I can manage with D A
The
G.
G sounds fine.
And then you figure
Yeah.
out there's a way to make that sound without having to bar the chord. And you're
Yeah,
like, I'll
that's
do
right.
that and
That's
never
right.
play the bar chord.
That's right.
I
yeah.
never, even I'm 30 years old, I never play a bar chord B minor.
Yeah.
You probably do.
I
but
mean,
I don't.
well, but there's other ways to play it now
Right.
that I'm like, well,
It sounds better.
yeah, and you just find so many. That's the other great thing about guitar, man, is, I mean, I in no way feel like I'm at all close to having it mastered, and I don't think anybody that's played guitar feels like. I mean, Eddie Van Halen was still learning stuff. Like, that's the crazy part is that he was still learning new things, new ways, new sounds,
Right.
new tones, new chord shapes. I mean, it's almost just so cool because it's almost just a never-ending learning experience
Yeah.
with the guitar. You can just kind of keep. I don't know. You can always learn something new. I always get stuck in my own box,
Same.
and so that's
I'm bad in my box.
yeah, yeah.
I have a very hard time getting out of that thing at all.
Right now, dude, because I love Paisley's playing, and I would love to learn some of that, but it just takes sitting down and like taking the time and to like really
Yeah.
study some of what that is, and
So when did You said you saw Keith at 4 or 5. When did you start? Like, were you 6 years old when you got a guitar? Or?
I was 6 when I got a guitar, but I didn't start playing until I was like 9. So I got like a Yamaha gut string, Yamaha nylon guitar, and learned a few chords. And then, of course, I was like, Dad, I need an electric. You know,
Yes, you.
that's what everybody else is playing, and that's
Yes,
what
you
I
do.
need. So he got me a, that little Squire Fender Stratocaster, the little amp, 10-watt amp, and started learning a few chords from there. So
And look at you now.
still learning new chords.
Nah, bro. When I think about your guitar playing, I've seen you live multiple times, but I think about what you just said about watching Keith and him having so much fun. And that's what you do when you play guitar, bro, because there's a video on your Instagram that you posted a while back, I think when y'all were cutting the record, of you ripping some solos in the studio. I was like, dude, he's just like, your soul is on fire when you play the guitar. And I'm
Thank
like,
you, man.
I'm envious of
Dude.
like how you feel when you do that, because I wish I could do that. And just because it's like you're scratching the itch of like, you know what your brain wants to hear and you can make it sound like that. That's where you know what I mean? Like,
I do.
and that goes for songwriting too. Like when you're trying to write a song, you know how it's supposed to go,
Yeah.
but you just have to figure out,
Yeah.
the route or the angle on the hook
Absolutely.
and stuff. But I see guys like you and Denning and, Ben play, and it's just like, y'all are cloud 9 when you're
It's fun, man.
plugged up.
It is fun. I mean, it's like having another voice, I guess, in a way. It's
Yeah.
like having another way to convey an emotion. And that's the fun thing too, is just being able to like sit in the studio and not having anything rehearsed. Like you almost just have to react to whatever the song does, whatever emotion, whatever the chords is. Like everybody does it differently, but I love to go in there without any idea what I'm gonna play. No preconceived solos, no, just all reaction, And sometimes it's the right thing and on the right day, and it works. And sometimes it's too close to the painting to see like what it's supposed to be. And so
Yeah.
it's like, all right, well, let's take a step back, and kind of see what we're trying to go after here. Yeah, it's like having another voice,
Is
It's
it
a lot of fun.
is it at all like songwriting where, let's say you write 5 times a week and then the next Monday rolls around and you're like, man, I can't think of anything new.
Absolutely, yeah.
You just have to step away for a minute and then
Totally, yeah.
count the band off, and
yeah.
then you're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, miss it, like
Right.
almost missing it.
Yeah.
It's like that's almost like what it is. Like
That's cool.
it's almost like wanting to miss the guitar.
That's a cool thought.
It is. I mean, it is like kind of like you have 4 or 5 titles in your phone that you write that week. It's like there's a few of those solos that I've played, and now I feel like I'm playing the same solos over
Right.
and over
Yeah.
and over again. And so just stepping away from it, missing it, coming back and trying something brand
That's
new.
good.
That's a good way to. I actually have never heard it like that, but
Me neither, and I love that.
we all know that's what it's like.
I think
For me,
yeah.
if I've been writing all summer, and deer season's around the corner, and I got like a Thursday and a Friday that I
Yeah.
don't have a ride on, and I can go to Georgia and get on a tractor and not pick up a guitar or think about song lyrics somehow. Sunday when I'm driving back on 24, I'm like, I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
I feel the same
Yeah,
way.
dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's wild.
It is.
Gotta
It's
miss
needed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Probably a song somewhere in there.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Might have to get that
For
one
sure.
down.
Hey now.
Let's do it.
Yeah, need to do it.
Well, we can kind of segue a little here if you don't mind. I heard you talk about your dad at the hotel, and kind of like asking God, like, or telling him that he was nervous and he didn't really know how to handle it. And you said that God kind of spoke to him and said, just like, make sure you're pursuing righteousness and, submitting all of this to me and I'll handle it. Like, it sounds like you have a pretty cool dad that's, loves the Lord. And I'm sure that's had a really big impact on your life and your walk.
Absolutely.
Did y'all grow up in the church and stuff?
We did. I grew up going to, I remember, a lot of the times I learned about, learned about the Lord was like in the deer stand with my dad, because I felt like that's kind of where he was like, he'd spend his time in prayer.
Really?
And I felt like I learned a lot about
That's
the Lord
cool.
just from being in the deer stand with him.
So you would watch him pray?
I'd watch him pray. I'd watch him appreciate. I'd watch him read in the deer stand. I mean, we would have he would write out Bible verses sometimes on deer stands, just out of just like, which is so cool. I want to do that.
Watch me bring
so
my Sharpie
bad.
to Alabama this weekend, buddy.
Dude,
I
that is
guarantee
cool.
freaking to you, I will be.
Yes,
That is cool.
1,000%. Yeah.
Oh man, that gave me chills. That is cool.
Yeah. There's one stand that we have out in because we hunt in Mississippi and we have a stand called a creek stand, and she's a box stand and I remember like the first time I ever like shot a deer was out of that stand, and he wrote like a verse in that stand, and yeah, it's
Dude,
amazing.
that is awesome.
Yeah,
That is winning as a dad.
yeah, man. It's my dad was he's such a loves the Lord, and very thankful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, having the ability to give your child memories like that is just
Priceless.
priceless, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a new goal.
Yeah, same.
The bar was just raised.
Yeah, 100%. Well, because of that, obviously you carried your faith with you. Was that an easy thing? Or like did that come naturally, or were there phases where you were kind of in and out of that and grew
Yeah.
and through it, or what was that like for you?
Man, in and out.
Yeah.
In and out. I think that like, because I was in it so young, I think that I learned a lot of things like the hard way, because I was always such like, man, I want this. I want this now. I want this. So I'm, so focused on the things that I wanted, that, there was never a time where I was like, I didn't feel like I was a Christian, but I certainly wasn't like following.
like it.
I certainly wasn't acting
Yeah.
like it, and it was kind of one of those things where, the relationship that's what it was. It was more religion, do the right things instead of relationship. And I never really I never felt that relationship. It was more of just like, well, I gotta pray, gotta read, cause I want to. It wasn't a relationship, and so over the last, like 4 years, the things that just the Lord's shown me, has just been. I'm very, very, very grateful. Very grateful.
Yeah, I think I'm guilty of that a lot of times. Even now, bro, like
Yeah.
I've had like seriously a crazy like past 40 days of my life that is just like you can't even make it up. And in those moments, that's when like as a Christian, you're like, oh, I'm going to trust God.
Yeah.
But that's not what you do. You just like, I've been panicking, and
Yeah.
like my relationship with God has just been like solely, what can you do for me? Like just selfish, and it's so easy to just for it to become that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a constant
Yeah.
bridge, that we're always
Absolutely.
going to be on too. It's just like,
Yeah.
Bridge.
That's
seriously,
right. Man.
just
That's
like,
right.
yeah, it's such a battle.
Yeah. It is, man.
God.
I mean, gosh, it is. It's like, Lord, I need you in this valley. I need you in the valley. And you get up to the mountaintop. All right, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Right now, I think I'm, on this mountain. if I start slipping off,
Yeah.
but man, it's like, man, no, but man, that's also where like, man, thank God for like his grace and like, thank God for his grace of when we do start slipping and like, and we forget like when we are at the mountain, he's still like, hey, look, I always like to picture, it's like if you started going in like a down a dark alley and you just kept walking and you just kept walking and you felt like you're all alone and you just kept going. And it's like you turn around and it's like God was just right there with open arms. He was like, hey, look, I never left. I just followed you down the dark alley. I just waited on you to turn around.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm right here.
Yeah.
That's just where his grace comes in. Grace covers it all.
There's a book called Imagine Heaven. Have you read it? Do you know about this?
I know
haven't,
about it. Yeah.
I haven't read it.
I haven't read it. My girlfriend read it, and she was telling me all about all these things in there.
It's wild.
And I was like, I have no interest in reading this. I feel like whatever you're reading is nuts, right? So then I love Sean Ron, and I love his podcast. So he's got this podcast where he brings this dude on, right? And this guy is telling a story, and the dude was an atheist and all these things. And long story short, ends up dedicating his life to studying near-death experiences with the lens of people that have gone to heaven or hell and have come back, right? And I'm like, this is the most insane podcast I've ever listened to. I sent it to my girlfriend, and she's like, you freaking idiot. That's the book that I was trying to get you to read. He's the author of it. But my point of that was there's all these things that he's spent 40 years doing this, and he's done it so much with people all across the world that within a series of 10 questions, he knows whether or not the person's lying on whether they went to heaven or hell. Like he knows, he's done so many of them that he knows like, okay, I can trust this or I can't. Almost all the people that have experienced going to heaven or meeting Jesus after death have this moment of like a life review, which is what everyone's scared to death of, right? Where you have to watch back all these moments of your life that you've kept inside that you hate. And all these people are describing to him like, I was so terrified to watch these moments of my life back with him. Yeah. But when they watch it, they're watching all these moments that were terrible for them, whether it was something they did or something they experienced to them. But the whole time they're watching it, they're seeing Jesus stand right next to them the whole time. Literally like you're talking about walking down that alley and he's just waiting for you to turn around. All the moments that that were traumatic to them, and he's right there. And there is no anxiety when they're watching this. They're in awe because they're like, wow, man, even in my worst, even in my darkest, like you were right there with me.
Right there. Yeah.
It's nuts.
Dude, that is wild.
Lee
That's amazing.
Strobel is his name.
No, it wasn't him, but he's the other Case for Christ.
Case for Christ.
But
there's another one. You're right.
And I'll maybe we'll link
Which
it.
it's the same. Well, it's not the same thing. He was the one that
he spent 2 years trying to disprove
disprove
Christianity.
it. Yeah. What's the other guy's name?
I'll look it up while y'all talk for a second because we need to shout that whole entire episode out. It's so freaking good.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna have to go listen to that. I may listen to that on the way home.
I think that literally the episode's like what happens when you die. It is. All right, his name is John Burke.
Yeah.
It's episode 111 on the Sean Ron show. But he wrote the book Imagine Heaven, and then what's even cooler, which I haven't read this or listened to him talk about it, but he mentioned it on that podcast. He wrote another book after that called Imagine the God of Heaven. So he takes all of those experiences that these people have talked about to then just go like, hey, there is one God. It is the God that we serve as Christians. And I can prove it to you from all the experiences that these people have had. Because some of the things that he talks about in that episode, man, he'd be so sick to bring on here.
God, it would be sick.
The crazy thing is about that, bro, is like he'll interview people from other countries who speak other languages. He'll have to have a translator who grew up Hindu. And this person will die. And like they're telling the story and they're like, all I know is that when I experienced this God, I knew for a fact it was not the God that I've been serving my whole entire life, and I was wrong. It's just nuts, bro. Like you'll have to listen. It's a long episode. It's like 4 hours, of course. But you'll just be like, I don't know, man. It changes the way you even think about God when you get done listening to the podcast. It's nuts.
God, that's amazing.
Yeah. What's his name again? Burke?
John Burke.
John Burke. That's right.
John Burke. Okay.
But that made me think about that when you were saying walking down that alley, because it's true. It's like, man, we all go through these moments where we do feel alone. I've had them. I still have them where you're like, and it's like something that if you haven't experienced, you can't describe, because it's like, I've got friends. I can call Tyler. I can call my parents. But there's this other lonely and alone that exists.
Yeah.
That when you feel that, you're like, I believe in God, and I feel like I don't even know if he hears me right now.
it's like only the presence of Jesus will suffice.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
And like you said, we can call each other and be like, man, I just like really not okay. But then there's also a point when you hang up the phone and like, no matter what your buddy said, like you still need Jesus.
Yeah.
Nothing's
100%.
going to,
Absolutely.
nothing will suffice.
100%.
Absolutely.
Have you ever had a moment? I know he has, and I have. Whether it's in prayer or fasting or fill in the blank, maybe it's at a show, or I don't know what it is for you, that you felt the presence of God so undeniably that there's no one on this whole entire earth that could convince you otherwise.
Man, I mean, there's been so many moments, but one recently was right after the shooting of Charlie Kirk, and just felt so heavy, and so it's just so heavy, but I knew we went out and played shows a couple days after that, and I knew like backstage, I could feel the Lord like press me like, hey, you're gonna open up the show like in worship tonight. That's what you're gonna do. Like, that's what we're doing. You know, forget the set list. That's what you're gonna do. And I was like, well, Lord, that just happened. You know, there's just all these things, and I felt myself like trying to fight it and going like, Lord, who am I to be up here doing this? And he was like, no, he's like, this is what you're gonna do. And so got up there, and it's almost interesting because my heart was pounding so fast that I almost knew it was the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like when your heart's pounding so fast and you're kind of shaking and you know it's the right thing. So I got up there and I told the crowd, I was like, hey, look, I was like, we're just going to give it all. This week's been very heavy. We're just going to give Jesus all the glory. And like, we're just going to sing some worship songs tonight. And that whole crowd erupted in worship. And the presence of God, I mean, it was so tangible in that moment at a show. It was just so tangible. People that came for, just a country show, but we all just ended up being in the presence of the Lord. And it was so tangible and yeah, man, it was powerful. It was really, really, really
Isn't
amazing.
it so like when you have that and you get to experience, man, you realize that everything else is wrong.
Yeah.
Not even wrong is not the right word, but nothing else. That's what matters.
Yeah. You want to stay there.
You want to stay there. That's the point. You're like, man, all the things that I'm worried about, all the things I'm concerned with, like where my priorities lie when I think about stressing over money and relationships or the next deal or the song or the whatever, like all of that goes away and you realize in an instance that like, this is the only thing that matters. Those things are still going to matter.
Yeah.
But like that thing is when you realize like, oh, that's what my soul was put on this earth for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
And it also makes you long for heaven more because you're like,
God, yeah.
that's what's coming
Absolutely.
forever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's eternity. Like that's eternity. Like, Lord, how can I stay here till I get there?
Yes. Dude.
You know?
Yes.
I think too, there's something to be said about like him telling us that, we'll find him when we seek him with all of our heart. And it's like, to me, that's not even like, well, for me personally, this is how I feel about that. Like, I think it's when I move everything that is on the table of my heart off so that he can be the table. It's, it's like, that's how you find him. And we're stuck in a world where it's really hard to do that all the time. And so when there's moments like that where nothing else is on the table, like we're not going to play the country song right now. We're not going to raise a beer to this song. We're not going to do anything except, like you said, give Jesus the glory. And when everybody's locked into that, I mean, that's just so powerful,
so special,
man.
dude.
So special.
And especially, I feel like in a moment like that, where it's not, I mean, of course, Sunday morning singing it's worshiping the Lord just as much as it is, there. But I think there's power in those moments like that where it's just.
And I think it's because I'm not negating anything about church. Obviously, I love church. But we're called to do the thing outside of the church.
Yeah.
where the people are not in the church.
Absolutely.
You know, like,
yeah.
I don't remember who it was that I was talking to lately, or it might have been in a Bible study or something. I don't know. But it was like, and this probably the conversation that was being had was probably coming from a jaded point of view about the church. But it's like, man, all these dudes in the Bible that we talk about, disciples and these heroes that we have and, you know, name our kids after, like those dudes had jobs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Jesus was like, hey, bro, yeah, you're a fisherman and I need you to go do this thing for me right now. And like, I'm not asking you to come get a salary at the church to go do that.
Right.
I need you to go do it with the life that you're living right now.
Yep.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Like we so often leave that church building like,
Check that box.
yeah, we check
Yeah,
the box
got that
and
box,
we,
yeah.
we all said the thing that was right here today. And guess what? It's like
And I don't want to be controversial in my workplace, you know.
that,
I
or
don't
like
want
we
to
feel like it's,
step on anybody's toes.
you almost feel like it's it was enough to say it on Sunday. You
Yeah.
know, and that was it. And I think the thing, and don't get me wrong, there's people in church that need to be in church. We all need to be in church. We all need to hear the
Yes.
message. But I'm going to go on a little side note here. We had our friend on last night, Harrison Hackett. He's got a publishing deal in the CCM world. And I was talking to him last week about Christian music because we all write country songs that might have a Christian influence or flair on them. And I was like a little outside of my comfort zone, not even knowing it when I was writing with him fully in the CCM world because I was saying some things that I would normally say in the song, and he would be like, that might be a little like too much for K-Love, bro. And he wasn't even saying it negatively. He was just saying like, that's not, you know, you're in a different box, Trevor. But my thought process was like, okay, well then I'd rather write the Christian song for country radio because the people who are listening to Christian radio are probably already Christians, and I need the people who are not here to hear this. My point of that is to go back to the church thing and be like, odds are the majority of us in church on Sunday, not all of us, the majority of us are probably like Christians already. We're supposed to leave that building to talk to the people who are not. Obviously, there's more to that. We lean on each other. We sharpen each other.
Totally.
We need to learn from those who
Right.
have more wisdom than us. So that I'm not in any way negating what happens on Sunday. I'm just saying we're supposed to take what happened on Sunday and bring it into Monday through Saturday, which is what you did on that stage that night. You know,
Yeah, it's the commission.
it's the commission.
It's the commission. That's it. And right. I mean, it's you know, it's interesting because you know, I can't remember what verse it talks about that, but if you're just getting fed spiritually, you know, just getting spiritually fat, but it's not going anywhere. You're getting it, but like the Great Commission is, the whole goal is to be able to pour that out. So you get filled up, you pour it out. You get filled up, you pour it out on somebody else. You get filled up, and it's constant. Like, you know, it's like you both need. Both parts are so important, right? You need to be filled up so you can go spread the gospel, right? And then, you know, and then there comes a point when you know when you've been out for so long where you're like, man, I need to be spiritually fed. I need to be like, I need to hear something. I need to read. I need to be filled up again. It's constantly that, you know.
You, for some reason, remind me a little bit of Connor Smith, and we had him on the podcast, just the way that you talk spiritually. And I asked him a question that we've only asked him. I think we've asked anybody else since then. I'm going to ask it to you. It's a little deep, and you can have a generic answer. That's fine, but I'm just curious. You obviously seem solid, grounded in your faith. Is there something in your faith life or the Bible or Christianity as a whole that just you really struggle with?
Man, it depends on the day. Sometimes, I think in sometimes this business we can get caught up in. I think comparison is a huge thing, and I think comparison. But I also think
That was literally
like,
Connor's answer.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I think comparison is like such a huge thing in like the industry. So my flesh like wants to feed into that and go like, well, so-and-so's, you know, it's easy to like lean into like what my flesh wants. But, you know, I think that like, again, it's going back to what you said about like the table and like going back to the table and like, Lord, strip me of all of what that is. Lord, like if I truly am only going to want you, which is what I do want,
Right.
which is what I, you know, what I also, it's interesting because I also feel like sometimes I'll say that and I'll be like, Lord, all I want is you. And I feel like the Lord sometimes goes,
Yeah.
do you? Like,
Every
like
day.
if I was to strip all of these things away, you know, like are you still going to worship me? And, you know, and so, so I think it's constantly, you know, it's a constant surrender, man. Every day is just a constant surrender. And I am by no means like close to having that, figured out, you know, the surrender. But I do thank God that, like, you know, it goes back to just his grace, grace covering that, you know. But yeah, I think comparison, I think everybody struggles with that, and especially in the music industry or not in the music industry. I mean, we live in the age of where these, you know, where these are here.
I couldn't agree more. I was going to bring this up. We did the Harrison podcast last night, and I was going to bring up that what you just said. That's not just our industry. I was having this same conversation with him when we were writing last week, because he was just talking about like the temptations that come here in the world that we live in Nashville, entertainment and all that. And we all say that, and everyone on this podcast says that, and it's true. And it probably is more true here than a lot of other places. I think the entertainment industry probably holds more temptations in one bucket than others, but it is everywhere. And I meant to say that last night, maybe when we were talking about figuring out who you are or whatever. Like, it's not just artists and it's not just songwriters. Like, I spent 7 years in the whitest collar corporate America job ever. That was a global company, and like it exists there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
The comparison exists there. The grind and the competition and the sin exists there.
Yeah. I think what it is too, and I just started realizing this, is a lot of it is coveting, or
100%.
I don't even know the spiritually, like I don't even know how to use the word correctly, but it's literally from the beginning of man's relationship, you know, with God was, you know, that was one of the, like, do not covet.
Yeah.
And I never really realized that like, I'm the same way as you, bro. Like, that's my biggest issue.
Yeah.
I'm always, like, we were talking about this earlier before the podcast. Dude, I live on Facebook Marketplace. I'm like, oh, if I had this piece of equipment, or like if I could do this, maybe I could start that and then this would come, or like that would make me more money. Well, if only I could write a song like this that someone else has. It's a yearning to have something. And we just so happen to live in a world where we're constantly looking at people that have the things that our flesh wants. So it's like, that is what it is. And God told us from the beginning, like, yo, don't murder and don't be don't yearn to have. And it was like, those are the same. Like,
I can't agree more. And like, dude, it's, you know, I heard my dad one time saying something, and it wasn't that long ago. He was thanking God for his ability to be like, thanking God.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you for instilling me the ability to thank you. I don't want to lose that. And so, because those are gifts from God. Like, when you have the Holy Spirit and you get those things, like, we don't all act like that, even though we want to. You know you want God's will to be done, but then God asks you, are you sure? Because you got these things. So like, I'm just gonna say this.
Do you really love me, Peter?
Right. I'm not even gonna go like into full detail on this because it's not worth it. But like, there's a chance that we could have something cool happening in our world, Tyler and I. That would be just awesome. And last night we found out about that. And I was praying about it in the shower. And when I was praying about it, I was like, I'm praying for your will to be done first and foremost. But I was like, I'm tired of living in a world that's like jaded. We talked about this last night. Like, this town will jade you. You say you've learned how to work as hard as you can and expect nothing, so you don't get your heart broken because you've had your heart broken too many times in this town.
Yep.
And so I was like, I don't want to live there, God. I want your will to be done, but I also want to walk around knowing that it can be your will and it can happen. But I literally was praying for me and you to be like, if this goes through, will you please just give us the strength to change nothing about ourselves? If this goes through, will you give me the ability to be like, it doesn't matter. It might change things in my life, but I don't want it to change my heart posture towards how I even feel about music right now. I don't want it, because a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, before the whole vocal thing, like, it was my biggest idol. It was what I defined my self-worth as. It mattered more than my relationships, more than my friendships. It mattered more than everything. I had to have this. And if this goes through the way that I want it to, I don't want it to go back there.
Yeah.
I literally was praying like that. I was
man.
like, God, I want this to happen, but if it does, just don't let that change, because I don't want to be that person anymore.
Yeah, man.
Because we know, like, we do in our soul know we want God's will to be done, but your flesh is like, that'd be so sick for me.
Yeah, wouldn't that be? Yeah, wouldn't that be great?
That would make me look so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I'll finally, and that's the thing too, man. Is like, we'll get it, and then it's never enough.
Yeah,
It's never enough.
It's never enough.
It's never
It's
enough,
never
bro.
enough. Like, we'll get it, man. Lord, if I can only get that one song cut, or if I could only get that one thing to crack the top 30 or the top 20, dude. And it's never enough.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus is literally like, that is the most fulfilled that we can be on this earth.
Dude, and I will say this about this industry, because although I was saying like, oh, those things exist in all the other places, I'll tell you one thing that I think about often, that it exists more than just here, but it seems to exist here more than anywhere else, on the point of it's never enough. Unless you're like a massive entrepreneur and like that's just your passion. Every other job in the world is like, you know what, bro? When I finally turn 50 and I get my pension or I retire, I'm done. And I'm going to go like enjoy my life with my family. This town's like 75 number ones. What about 80? It is literally never enough. Like I was talking to Jason about that one time. And I was like, I don't know how I would be if I got there. I sit somewhere in the middle of going, if I had 5, I'd wonder what it would be like to have 10 number ones. At the same time, I'd be like, I'll just say it. Like, I think about Ashley Gorley and I'm like, I wonder if there's ever a point where he's like, when I hit 80, I'll finally just like hang it up and go to the beach. Because if you're a lawyer or if you're a firefighter or a police officer, like if you're a firefighter and you started at 18, by the time you're 50, you're done. They make you leave and you go enjoy your life. But here it's not that way. No. You maximize it until the day that they finally close the coffin.
Yeah.
Bro.
I think too, like, not in like Ashley Gorley's defense, because he doesn't need anybody to defend him, but I know for me, like if I spent 15 years here without a hit and I finally got one and I had the opportunity to do it for 50 more years, I'd probably be like, sounds pretty good.
I know. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's what we do.
Yeah, it is crazy.
Absolutely.
It's the,
Man, it really comes back to like, what's the intent? Because I think that's something that also the Lord like was teaching me this year, was like, hey, quit trying to outwork me. Like
nice.
quit trying to outwork
That's
me.
so good,
like,
dude.
Like, and look, and he's all for like, like it says it in the word, right? Like working hard. But what does it say? Working hard for? Do everything unto the Lord, right? Mm-hmm. So, when we're writing these country songs, pouring 150% in, and using that gift and going like, man, Lord, thank you for this gift, like doing that all for the Lord, and then, like almost like if you were driving a car, right? Like, if you're driving a car and you're just like holding on, gripping so tight onto the wheel, right? And you're just like, all right, Lord, I got to stay in control of this. So
you can't white knuckle it, dude.
Yeah, almost the Lord's just like, hey, look, keep your pedal down, keep working, but I got the wheel. Don't worry about it. Like, keep the pedal down. You handle the brakes. Control what you can control, but don't try to outwork me and take over. Yeah.
I love that. And I also think too, the reason we do that whole thing of like, we'll just get it until we can't ever get it again, is like, we all feel this way. Like if it didn't work out, you didn't get the thing and you went to become a firefighter, you're probably still going to pick that guitar up and write those songs. Mm-hmm. Even if you get it and it lasted for 20 years and then you are quote unquote, done and you are sitting on a beach in Mexico, I bet you're picking the guitar up and writing songs. And I think that's why people are able to do this until they close the coffin, because it's like, I'm going to do it until I'm dead either way. So like I might as well do it and get paid for it too, or at least go for the thing. It's like, I'm not going to stop doing it regardless of the outcome. So why would I stop?
I mean, dude, it's fun to watch, like all the Beathard family, right? Football and music, right? A lot of them can't play football anymore, but guess what? They're still doing, watching whatever that's their passion is football, right? So they can't play, but guess what? They're still, know everything about football. It's their passion. It's something that the Lord like put on their life that they're like, they really love. And it's something it's the Lord put that passion in their life. So they still do it, to this day. I mean, I know Casey's dad was like, Bobby Beathard, like, was still just obsessed with football all the way up to the day that he died. And, there's writers in this town that are going to write songs. But I mean, shoot, Bill Anderson, he's a great example. Like, it's just like, I might not have another hit, but it's right there, and I love it so much that I can't. Not
gonna put it down.
I can't put it down. And it's almost just like God put that passion in your life that's just gonna stick around. And He's like, hey, don't love it more than me, but there's a passion here, and it's for a reason.
Yeah, I totally agree. Tell me about the tattoo on your arm and why that was important enough to get inked up.
Yeah, tattoo. I mean, it's Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. And it's kind of funny. I put it on this arm specifically this way because whenever I'm playing, I can look down and see that, and just know that no matter what happens here, like the Lord has plans that I may know about, I may not know about, but I trust Him. And it's a constant. I feel like I've used the word surrender a lot, but that's what it is. Yeah. It's constant surrender and, surrender into Him. So, yeah, that's why I got that. I mean, I've always loved that verse, but, it's there for a very specific reason. Whenever I'm playing, that's what I see when I look down.
That's exactly why I put mine there, except for I never see it while I'm playing, but I thought I was going to, but that's why I did it too.
I love it, man. That's great. That's so good. What's yours?
Mark 9:23, anything is possible in him who believes.
Come on.
Have I talked about this one here before? Heard that at a church when I was like 17, and I was like, I don't know why it blew me away. It's one sentence, right? But I was just, it was for the same reason. It was about the music thing and just like feeling like, man, like if I feel like God's put this on my heart, I trust that this can be a thing. Oddly enough, about 4 years later when I was in college, I was really going through it. And I was like reading that verse, and the next verse is Mark 9:24, which is, but Lord help my unbelief. And when I read that, I was like, man, I should have just skipped 23 and got 24. I even thought to myself, should I get comma 24? Because like, I think I need Mark 9:24 as much as I need 23. Like I'm living way more in the help my unbelief than I am anything is possible in him who believes. Like I should have read the whole thing before I got the tattoo. Like I remember telling my parents, I'm being like, should I go get 24, just the number on the other end?
On the other one? Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
I think about that often where I'm like, I'm definitely verse 24 more than I am 23. Although I did think about 23 last night. I was praying that one too whenever I was praying about everything for us. But
you're good about that.
What?
23.
What do you mean?
I feel like you're just like a visionary. I love it.
I'd like to think so, but I think I'd spend... I battle it. I battle both. I am 23 and 24 at the same time. I'm at one time I'm both.
Yeah.
Like I said, like last night I was both. I was like, man, I know you can do this if it's your will, but at the same time I have 10 years of jadedness about what this town tells me is not going to happen. And living in the spot of knowing if it doesn't happen. But that was my mind. The shift last night was, if it doesn't happen, I'm going to ride this out knowing it's because you didn't want it to, not because the town did it to me.
Right.
Not because it's just the Nashville story of, oh, you thought this was going to happen and it didn't because that's just how it goes. No, it's not. I'm not going to write that off as that's just how it goes. I'm going to write it off because your will was actually done because I asked for it to be. Yeah. And I can live with that at least. Yeah. I can much easier live with that than, oh, well, I got Nashville again. You know, I can't do that anymore. I will end up hating this forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I always find myself like praying, and this is actually probably not even cool to pray. God probably is going to deal with me on this, but I'm always like, just prove me wrong. Like, not that I expect bad things to happen, but I'm just like, sometimes I'm like, God, just prove me so wrong. Like, not to be like, oh, like show yourself, or like, I'm not trying to like put him in a position. You know what I mean? It's not from a place of like,
it's showing that that's what your hope is.
Yeah.
It's saying like,
I don't have faith in the world.
Yeah.
It's constantly disappointing.
Yeah.
And so I think I try to make sure it's from that perspective of like, yeah, dude, I don't know how this is going to happen, but
I think it's
please just prove me wrong.
It's like it's almost,
show me how possible this
Yeah.
is and how great
Absolutely.
and capable
I think
you
it goes
are.
to like it's a only you can do thing.
Right.
Like God, like there's only one way that this can happen, and it's through you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's, yeah.
I think
It's
all
funny
three
because that's
of us-
actually everything, and we just don't think about it.
Right. And I can sit here and look at myself in the mirror. I can look at y'all boys, and I know all three of us have probably worked our knuckles to the bone trying to make something happen on our own accord.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can't. And
What is the verse like? A man plans his steps, but God
directs
his path.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, I just need you to be the bulldozer. Like, just let
Yeah,
me walk
that's
behind
it.
behind the
I'll
bulldozer.
walk behind the bulldozer.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
How much?
and a big one.
That's good.
What time do you?
Yeah. Big one.
What time do you need to bounce?
I'm good, man. Whenever.
You got something you want to bring up? I'm just
Possibly.
asking because if you don't, I got something big,
Dude,
heavy.
rip
like,
it.
When I was asking you earlier about like what's something you struggle with, like faith wise, I was in Music Growth Ministries Bible study about I don't know 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I think it was Ephesians. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2, but it's about the elect and brother. I wrestle with this so much because I've always my whole life really struggled with like free will versus predestination.
Yeah.
And like when in that chapter, that's what it's about. It's like God has chosen the people who will follow him. And I cannot for the life of me wrap my head around that, because it's like God already knows who's coming to his table, which means he knows who's not. At the same time, we still have to go out in the world and make disciples, even though he knows who is and who isn't. And I can't. I've accepted that I can't understand that, and I never will. But like that one is one that is just like tearing me up a little bit. I have a very hard time, like the free will versus predestination just blows my freaking mind, bro. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I can't figure it out. And I know I'm not going to, but I'm like, oh, it's so hard to imagine that like God knows who's not coming to heaven and he's allowing that. Because it is like you still have a choice to choose the things you're going to do, but he knows what you're going to choose and allows it.
It scares me.
It scares me so much. It scares me so much. And it's like, I believe I'm going to heaven. Like I know the path that I've chosen to follow, but God chose me to follow that. Some are not. And I don't know what to do with that, bro.
Yeah.
And like church don't talk about that enough. We don't talk about that on Sunday enough because I guess because it's at the end of the day, it is like, hey man, it's just one of those things you've got to accept that it is what it is. And God's idea of free will and predestination is not limited to your human brain.
Yeah.
But so we have a pastor friend, and he said that when he had just gotten into being a pastor, I was like 20 years old, and he was like, he really struggled with that to the point where it was like making it hard for him to preach on Sundays. And it was like, he had to go to another one of his pastor mentors that was older than him. And he said he just like bawled his eyes out in his office because he was like, why am I even on stage on Sundays preaching the gospel if it's already like almost a little bit predetermined? That like, I can't do anything about this. And this dude was like, because God said you have to. That's all you walk out of here, except that you're never going to get any other answer other than God said to go make disciples. And that's all, that's enough. You've got to know that and leave it there because you'll drive yourself nuts if you go beyond that. But dang, bro, that's heavy.
Yeah. I mean, man, I think there's like, right? There's a lot of those things that will, I mean, that's why like we're not, that's why I think we're not allowed to like see what's in like the spiritual realm around us, is because I don't think our minds can
Get it.
quite comprehend that until we get to heaven, right? I think there's certain things that like we just, the one sure thing that we know is to go out and preach the gospel, and that, you know, Christ is Lord, Christ is our Savior, died on the cross for our sins. And those are the two, like, man, like the most clear things, right? And there's so many other questions that we have, right? But holding on to both those two things,
It's tough.
It is, yeah.
It's like, in this hand, I fully believe that we serve a sovereign God who's all knowing and all powerful. At the same time, I know for a fact that I choose daily to believe what I believe in. I believe that it's instilled in me, and I believe the Holy Spirit's in me, but I'm physically making that decision to be like, I understand almost none of this, and I'm still choosing to believe it.
Yeah.
Which is faith, right?
Yeah.
So I know both
Yeah,
exist.
that's right.
Because it's not every day that God's coming down and being like, let me put my finger on your forehead and be like, now you believe even stronger. It's like, I'm choosing to be like, I understand nothing and I trust you as much as you possibly can as a human.
I mean, that's where he wants you to be.
100%.
Yeah, that's where he wants you to be.
100%.
Faith, man.
Yeah.
That's where the faith comes in. God, it's good. Love that.
It is heavy.
It is.
Think about it often.
You do?
Yeah.
I think
You know, I often pray too. Like I took some time to myself like 2 weeks ago in here, and I was just like freaked out because I was like, man, is the Holy Spirit like really in me? Like I just prayed for a long time, like, God, please, like, let your Spirit dwell on me. Please let your Spirit dwell on me. God, please, like,
Yeah.
And I don't think feelings are the Holy Spirit, but I was like, okay, I don't think that I'm going to hell. But I'm not saying because of anything I'm doing right now. I'm just like, okay, maybe I'm just maybe I'm just freaking out and I need to chill and like have some faith, you know?
Yeah.
Like
I think we've all been
like
there.
I probably wouldn't be
yeah,
I probably wouldn't be freaking out like this if I didn't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think those are good indicators. Like
Yeah.
Oh, if you didn't care about where you were going, it's
yeah,
probably
like,
pretty
oh
you
man,
probably,
yeah,
I can
the
tell
Holy
you where
Spirit,
you're going.
You know, all of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Every last one of us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're going to heaven. You get a car.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I got time. Like that's the biggest dude. That like
Yeah.
that's kind of the thing that like I think, you know, sometimes because I can be guilty of that, going like, well, I kind of messed up there. I got time to make it right, and like, or I hear other people saying, well, I'll get it when I get here or man. It's like we're not promised.
Yeah.
We're not promised tomorrow. We're not promised, you know, we're all going somewhere. Don't know when, but you know, we are going somewhere after this. That's for sure a promise. And
I think you're gonna have one heck of a guitar shrine waiting on you.
We all have
just
jobs
aligned.
in heaven, and I'm sure yours is to rip.
look,
Yeah.
I hope
The Holy Ripper.
I hope there's a 500 watt amp up there. You know,
Oh, I'm sure there
Be
is,
fun.
dude.
You're gonna be standing in the lobby. You're gonna be standing in the lobby ripping, just like you were.
Do y'all ever think about that a little bit of like, I know I won't care about nothing that I had down here, but I do hope there's some things from down here that are up there, like,
Hunting.
right. No, but I'm going to go further than that because I believe that those things are probably going to exist. I just do. But I don't just mean hunting and for me fishing. I mean, like, I wonder what kind of bow and fly rod and whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Something we've never seen.
It's not going to be a
Something we've
Les
never
Paul.
seen.
It's going to be some other thing, like some other brand. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think about that often. I'm like, I wonder
Yeah,
what kind of
instruments
fly rod.
we've never probably
Oh,
seen
yeah, dude.
before, right?
Sure.
I mean, you know, they talk about like there's never-ending worship,
Yeah.
you know, in heaven.
Yeah,
And
dude.
we never stop. So there's never-ending worship. However that looks, right? Because worship can look like so many different things, but it is kind of amazing to think that like there will always be. It's kind of crazy to think that there could always be like music going on.
Yeah, dude.
You know, like that's amazing.
I'll give you another crazy one. This one's a little more fun, though. If God is all knowing, ready? And he put himself in a man Jesus. Jesus knew everything too, other than maybe the days coming back. Imagine being Jesus, bro, back then, 2,000 years ago, knowing everything that was ever going to happen and not being able to describe the disciples like, bro, one day they're going to have pizza, bro. And you'll have no idea what it tastes like, but I do. He knew all these awesome things were coming, but he couldn't tell none of them. They're going to have cell phones, bro. They're going to have a podcast. They're not even going to have to travel on foot to tell the good news. They'll do it from a bedroom on a microphone. He knew all that and couldn't even share it with them because they would have never got it.
Yeah, the kingdom of heaven was at hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. 100%. But I wonder if he got to think, like, see things and be like, dang, bro, them boys aren't even going to know how good they got it compared to these camels we're riding. They're going to have Ferraris.
Yeah.
And like,
I say this, well, I think I said this on the podcast at some point, but I like to think this. Now, I don't even know if this is biblical, but it seems like a characteristic of God, which is to under-promise and over-deliver. And I don't mean that we're not promised anything. I just mean that, like, you're a father now, and you have a little girl, and you know what a joy it's going to be like on her birthday in 5 or 6 years, you know, when she's old enough to, like, comprehend what's going on. And, like, let's say she just wanted this little pink pony or, like, thing, and you're like, okay, like, just not yet, you know, not yet, maybe next year. And then, like, sometime down the road, maybe she even forgets about it, and you ride a hit and you'll have a farm, and then there's, like, a real pony in the front yard, and you're like, I got this for you, Sonny. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you remembered? And, like, all that stuff. Like, I just think that's how God loves us.
Dang,
and I
good.
think that I think Jesus being here was like, hey, man, like, there's some really cool stuff up ahead, but this is what's going to happen until then.
I love that.
But I'm going to tell you, like, you're going to watch them nail me to a cross. I'm going to tell you to pick up yours. And all those disciples, you know, they died a terrible deaths. Like, you think about Paul being in prison and, like, just all the terrible things that happened to them while they were on this earth, and they got to heaven, and God was like, dude, you don't even know what's been waiting on you. Yeah. And realistically, it's him. It's like him. He is the prize. Yeah. That just fills every single granular ounce of
all voids are filled.
Yeah.
All
everything.
voids are filled. Yeah.
And I think that, you know, when they talk about like being in heaven and angels and people casting their crowns at the feet of Jesus, like, imagine just throwing your guitar at the feet of Jesus, being like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, like, let's have a bonfire with it. Like, all I need is you.
Yeah.
And I just think that's how, and, like, even imagine heaven and all those different experiences that people have, you know, getting glimpses of God's character in another realm just makes me hope for that. Like,
dude, and they talk about it like, man, they just, like, it's a love you can never, I could never spend a million years trying to describe to you the love that is.
Yeah.
Can't even wrap your head around it.
Did you hear the one about the lady dying? And this is a story that was told on one of those podcasts, but apparently she was, like, a non-believer her whole life and got in some type of accident or surgery, or that's just kind of how those experiences go. If you listen to that podcast, somebody's in surgery or gets in a car wreck or just crazy things happen and they die, clinically dead, no brain activity, not breathing, heart stops, like every clinical definition of death these people experience. And this lady, anyways, this happened to her and she went to heaven and she was, like, talking to God, being like, how do you love me? Like, I didn't even recognize you my whole life. Like, why should, like, I don't deserve to be here. Sorry. Like, just send me back. And he's like, no, like, you need to understand what's going on. And she was like, okay, well, if this is real and you really love me, then show me someone that has come here before me that I would know.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, look to your right. And she looks to her right, and her dog, her childhood dog, comes running up to her.
So and the reasoning for the reasoning for that is she'd had a terrible life. She'd been like abused as a child. She had all these men problems in her. Like she said in her own words that she had never experienced love before. And the only love that she had ever truly felt on earth was this one dog that she had. No man had ever loved her. Her childhood, she never felt love. The only thing that she could describe as love was this dog. So when God was like, "Oh, I'll show you how much I love you. I'll show you the one thing that you thought loved
you
you."
love.
Yeah.
God, it's his faithfulness, man.
Yeah.
And it made me feel really good about my daughters
Wow.
going to heaven.
It's just the intention.
Yeah.
It's the intentionality of God.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Probably gonna
the
listen to that
details,
podcast.
Yeah.
and I also think we're going to get to heaven and just be like sitting around like this and just telling each other stories
I
about,
agree.
man, when I look back on my life and I got my review, you're not going to believe what he did for me.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
there's just so much, like, I love opening my mind up to all those possibilities
Me too.
because that's who I genuinely think that's who God is.
Yeah, he wants you to ponder on heaven.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
all these things
he
are like, I
totally
don't know if
does.
this is fully biblical or not. It's like, dude, he wants you to think
wants
about
you to
heaven,
think
bro.
about it.
Yeah,
He wants
man.
you to think about that.
Absolutely.
Like, and
Yeah.
I've always had a hard time with that. Like, my girlfriend, she can cry over the thought of heaven. And up until I heard that podcast, I was always like, it's just like, this is gonna sound bad, but I was never like in awe over thinking about
Yeah.
that. I was just like, I'm gonna die and go to heaven. It's gonna be cool. I know the Bible says there's streets of gold and all these things and things that I can't imagine, a big banquet table and all this stuff. But when you hear that podcast, you're like, bro, take me up, brother.
Yeah.
I'll go
Yeah.
down, man.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to be scared and often think about how bad hell would be. But I think if you're really intentional about thinking about how awesome heaven is going to be, it's
Yes.
that
We don't
it's
do
there.
that enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe we do now, but like growing up in church, it's like, man, they went on a long run of fire and brimstone, which is good. That's needed too. But there was a lot of that and not a lot of like, let's talk about joy
Yeah.
that is waiting on you versus if you don't do these things,
Right.
the fire that you'll experience forever.
Yeah.
When it says fix your eyes on heaven,
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
like, I mean, that's what we're supposed to have our eyes fixed on. So it is like exciting to think about, like, that place that we are in, that place that we're in when we get those glimpses of being with the Holy Spirit down here. That's like 24/7.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
For
Every deer stand is
eternity.
covered in Bible verses.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You want to know my non-biblical take? My non-biblical take is that if the Holy Spirit, which is literally Jesus in you, and was what causes conviction in your heart when you do wrong because it's breaking the heart of Jesus, so it's breaking your heart, I would like to think the opposite is true. Like when I killed my first turkey and I was so jacked, I was like, bro, I freaking hope that because God feels the opposite, he also gets to experience this, the good part of being like, man, that's freaking sick.
Yeah.
Like when I go to the studio to record songs, I always think to myself, like, I know you're sitting right there. You're getting to experience all the sick things that happen down here too, not just the bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I love that. Like I like
Yeah,
to feel
all the
like he
joy.
gets to be like, oh, I'm sitting in a podcast right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is sick, bro. Bring me everywhere. You know?
Yeah.
Take
Absolutely.
me fishing with you, bro.
Absolutely.
I love that. And whether it's whatever or not, I'm friggin' dying on the hill that for me it is.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
This is solid, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is great. It's awesome.
Thank you for coming on and doing this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Thank y'all for having me.
Of course. Is there
Pleasure.
is there anything? So I think a large, I'm not positive, but if I had to guess, a large portion of our listeners are younger, and I've said this multiple times, like this podcast has kind of been created for our younger selves. You know,
Yeah.
like if you could have an opportunity to come through the truck speakers of you at 17 or 18 listening to this podcast right now, like what would you tell them? It's loaded, I know.
Yeah. I think I would just constantly just say, hey, hey, Jesus is enough. Jesus is enough. I promise you. Like, all those things you want like, you know, that's great. And maybe you'll get him, maybe you won't, but Jesus is always going to be enough. And I think that's one of the many things I would say, but that's the one thing that comes to mind is just Jesus is enough. I was 17. So
I think that's solid.
I think that's great.
And maybe let that, you know, that 2.5-year-old walk, you know, that 2.5-year-old 8-point walk. So don't get that's not the only one there, you know. That's not the only deer in that stand.
Love it. Love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Payton Smith, everybody, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank y'all. Appreciate
GodDog.
y'all.
GodDog.